or the other countries and in Tibet, everywhere is Khenchen Rinpoche due to his kindness. So many, monks, nuns, monasteries learn the Gongchik and the study and the practice, or is due to Khenchen's kindness. So I just share you like all the teachings, many especially Gyaltsen Songgon teachings is receiving from Khenchen is more powerful, more blessing. He has a very strong connection to the Gyaltsen Songgon. So we have this opportunity to receive teaching from him. We get blessing, and from Khenchen, it's really benefit these teachings. So take the opportunity to receive teaching from that's very important for us. And thank you everyone who joined today this Khenchen Rinpoche's teaching. And also I'm going to do the opening prayer and the mandala offering. Opening prayer is I'm going to share in the screen. Same, just usually, we do every Saturday, Sunday. All mothers and beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstacles who harm me, and those great obstacles on my path to liberation and nations. May they experience happiness, be separate from suffering safely. Always to reach the end, still once past perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. All mothers and beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstacles who harm me, and those great obstacles on my path to liberation and nations. May the experience happiness, be separate from suffering safely. Always to reach the end, still once past perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. Dala Danwar Zebeda
Dobra Zebede Pava
Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and the mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and the mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and the mind. We take refuge in the kind root Lama and the lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deity of the Mandalas of Yadams. We take refuge in the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Brakas, Dakinis, and the Dhamma gardens, possessors of the eye of wisdom. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and likewise in the example of Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas invested in enlightenment and the progress on the Bodhisattva's path, true for the benefit of all sentient beings giving birth to Bodhicitta, and apply myself to complete the stage of the path. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent. I take refuge until enlightenment reach. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. I bow down respectfully with my body, speech, and faithful mind to all Tathangatas in the 10 directions. Those who have already reached in the Tathangata state, those who are reaching it at the present, and those Tathangata state to come. Through the power of Samantabhada's prayers, may all Buddhas manifest vividly in my mind. I posted to them, multiply in my body as many times as there are atoms of the earth. In each atom, I visualize as many Buddhas as there are atoms and surrounded by countless Bodhisattvas. Thus our space is filled with Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. I praise our Buddhas through manifesting, chanting, expressing the great ocean of the excellent qualities. To our Buddhas, I make offerings of various pure flowers, flower garlands of music, honoring oils, manifesting light and fragrant incense. I make offering to the fine garments of perfume and purple, for the highest moon meadow, and orange the most beautiful way. I visualize the highest and the most extensive offerings and offer them with great faith to all Buddhas. I prostrate to the Buddhas and make offering to them following the deeds of great Bodhisattva Sammantabhata. I will confess to you, Buddhas, whatever negative actions I have committed due to the power of anger, desire, and ignorance. I rejoice in the merit of all the Buddhas and the 10 directions of the great Bodhisattvas and the Pakika Buddhas. Those who have already attained Aharasha, those who have entered the path of Aharasha and all other beings. I request to all great protectors and the Buddhas to turn the highest way of Dharma as the light dispelling the darkness of beings in the 10 directions and leading them gradually to the enlightened states. I supplicate those Buddhas entering their path into Parinirvana to living long for us many eons as their atoms of the earth, in order to benefit all beings. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offerings, compassion, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of enlightenment of all sentient beings, all these are dedicated. Om Benzara Sadhu Samaya
Manu Balaya Bana Sado de no Bai de do me ba. Sudo Kaya me Baba Sudo Kaya me Baba Anuradha me Baba Sarva Sede me Praya Sarva Dharma Sudha me Jina Guru
Mandala offering. Oh, the ground is thinking with the scented water and the strewn with the flowers. And it dawned with the Meru, the spread mountain, the four continents, and the sun and the moon. As Buddha fell, I offer it. All attain the happiness as a Buddha feels. Saye bije zoye me do zhang. Re ra lin ye nye de jimban de. Sanje to the Lama who possesses the three kayas, for the offering of my body, venerated or dead is visible. Please grant me the realization and attainment. So yon zo la me zo whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offerings, compassion, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of enlightenment of our sentient beings, all these are dedicated.
Rana Mandala Bunda Mega Samoda Sabara Samaya.
I equal refuge, ornament of the world. Your fame provides the 3,000 words. You are the victor Varjatara. With our hope, avoid the feet of Father and Jesus from you. Continue nothing with no one but you. Compassion, the one grant your blessing. This darkness that surrounds my heart. Please bless me so that I can understand the nature of mind.
Please bless me so that I can realize.
So now we go to hear Manjushri prayer, long prayers to Manjushri. His wisdom is brilliant like the sun, free of clouds of two worlds, perceive the various steps of knowledge in the true nature. For this reason, he holds the wisdom text at his heart. He has a compassion for all beings who are suffering from the darkness of ignorance, the president of samsara as a father for only son. Like a thunderclaps, he wakens those who are sleeping in ignorance, losing the charm of karma. Through the 60 branch of Haramana's speech, he wears the wisdom silver to cast sadness of suffering and to dispel darkness of confusion. Through this our song, he is pure from beginningless time, fully accomplished in the 10 levels and perfect in the body of all knowledge. I supplicate you, Manjushri, adorned by the 112 Psalm of Buddha, to dispel darkness of my ignorance. You who are the perfect, youthful body, whose flame of wisdom blesses, and dispel darkness of worldly ignorance, are posted before you in the press to Manjushri. Yone gelen changwa. Please stand aware of the Dharma, of the two vehicles and the combination, according to the disposition and likewise, the mental capacity of sentient beings.
So, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you, everybody. As we said, all these opening prayers, those opening prayers, as you say, contains the complete, profound, and vast meaning of the Buddha's teaching. So if you say those prayers with the consciously with the contemplation, and you can see the precious nature of all that Buddha taught. So these opening prayers are the collection of all the essence of the Buddha's teaching for our daily life, our practice, to remind what happened. This doesn't stay. Okay, maybe my ear is something wrong. You know. As here, Khyentse Rinpoche introduced about this our teaching. So Gongchik teaching is becoming very popular last for 10, 15 years. I should say, throughout the Buddhist world, especially Mahayana and Vajrayana. So there's something very auspicious, I think. But it is not that easy to understand. It requires a lot of contemplation, especially practice. We have to internalize. It's not enough just to read and get some literal meanings. Okay, better?
Yes, good.
So, first of all, you see, before I speak, just general, why Buddha taught the Dharma teachings is very important. Usually, not only just here, any places I go, I say these things. You know. First of all, you see, every sentient beings in the world, the 6 realms, the hell realm, hungry ghosts, animals, human beings, demigods, and the god realms, all those individuals, from the smallest insect to the most powerful person in the world. One thing you see, and those, if I say, those who are, they believe religion or not religion. They know or don't know. Whether they're interested or not interested. Whether they believe past life or not past life or next life. Those who are rich or poor. The one thing is everybody desire for peace and happiness. See, everybody said this, but we don't penetrate the depth of that. See, no. That is not something culturally influenced or belief system. See. Now, like when you nowadays the Zoom teaching goes around so many places. In that same section, you see, we meet people from all over the world, from the United States, from the European countries, Asian countries, you know, who speaks many different languages, who have so many different backgrounds, belief systems, as I mentioned, you know. But one thing is the desire for peace and happiness. You see, first we have to contemplate on that carefully. Very important meaning, point, you see. With having said that, with this kind of feeling, everybody keeps busy. Why they want to keep busy? In a different project, with the different objects, with a different way of life, business, politics, science, technologies, or some don't want to work, want to stay. Some want to keep busy. Everyone, the depth of in the innate of the mind is they just want peace and happiness. Physically, mentally, you know. And nobody wants suffering physically, mentally. See, that's inborn. You know, who doesn't know anything, simply just want peace and happiness. But that person maybe doesn't know what's the cause of peace and happiness. No. That person doesn't know what's the cause of suffering. See, this is the first very important point that we have to know. Why? Somebody should say, I don't believe anything. I don't need peace and happiness. Won't say that. I don't believe anything, but I want peace and happiness. No, I don't believe anything, but I want to get out of this problem. So that's the reality nature. See, this is the basis why we need to study, practice, why we need to investigate. Why? No. Like say politician, the politics, they have a rule how to play the policies. But that's not enough. That's not enough. They have to investigate how to do better in the policy, politics, in the politics or business. All the business people, they come together, they discuss how we should do better business. They investigate further what mistake we made, what we can do better. Likewise, science, all the scientists, they just keep investigating, scrutinizing all things. How we have to invent new idea, new things. We have to develop new things that what we have is not enough, not sufficient. See, this is the point, very important, that we have to understand. Because the 21st century is the century of the education. You see, you built so many universities everywhere. Education is the foundation for the development. When you are more educated people, then the country is better off. No. You can do better things, more organized. No. If you make the weapons, they make the weapons better, more powerful through the education. No. So you can destroy the enemy. So if you destroy the enemy, you feel better. You see? So ignorance, on the other hand, is the root of all the problems. See? That's why in the Constitution of US, I think it's very wonderful, it says, there's no excuse. So ignorance in the Constitution of the United States, there's no excuse of ignorance. If the driver is in the car driving with the wrong direction, and the police says, "Why are you doing this? This is not the way." Says, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know." You know, that doesn't solve the problem. When I say I didn't know this, I don't know this, that doesn't solve the problem. I'm suffering so much because I don't know. So that doesn't solve the problem of the suffering. Now this all lies what? Lies on what? We have to see. Right now in the world, all the happiness is the product of the outside material. We all are just so much engaged, involved, indulge the outside product, all the materials. If I have this, I'll be happy. If I have that, I'll be happy. No, and the countries, when you are economically more developed, the country is much better. No, yes, physically need. Without food, you can't stay happily with hungry, no, with the empty stomach. You need food to eat. You need clothes to wear. But the stomach is just one stomach. You can't eat too much. If you eat too much, you get sick, you know. You see. So there's a limitation. But mentally, there's no limitation, you see. Today you're so happy, but not enough. While you are enjoying the happiness, how much I should have more happiness? How much I should have more happiness, more peace? No? So mind has no limit. So now, little bit progressing, making difference, I think. The mind is not just the brain. No. Before they say brain is the mind. Brain is just a flesh. It's a matter. It's the collection of the dust particle, you know. And mind is consciousness. It's conscious, you know. I conscious this. This is right. This is wrong. Brain cannot discriminate that. Brain doesn't have say this is good, this is bad. No. But brain is a very important organ to function the mind. I used to say this, not only this time, way back, you know. There's two very important places for the mind, the brain and the heart. See, we should understand that. When the mind is busy, heart is beating more. When the mind is relaxed, the heart is more relaxed. You see, when the mind is more relaxed in the mind, in the brain, you can have more relaxed. And if you think too much in the brain, then you cannot rest the mind. So mind is a very important subject. But it's very difficult to understand because it's not a matter, as I mentioned. It's not a matter. Mind is measures, consciousness. So it is, this subject is very ambiguous. Modern scientists, they use so many different machines, telescopes, or so forth, to see the mind, no? But these all sophisticated machines are just a matter. So the matter cannot, the matter cannot capture the mind. Because the matters, all those machines are product of the mind. But this all, no, these all machines cannot produce the mind. See, we have to understand that. These are very important points. So sometimes with a compassion in the brain, this part is compassion, this part is kindness, to say, you know. But that's why the mind functions in those places. So what I say is, brain is the office for the mind, and the heart is a home for the mind. Just some understanding, get idea. When the mind comes down to the heart, more relaxed, then the heart is the home for the mind. Peaceful, love, compassion comes from the heart. All the intellectual things come from the brain, because it keeps busy in the office, you know. So those see these things, just getting some ideas, you know. That's how first mind is very important. And as mentioned, mind has no limit. Because how much you think every day. If you have a mala, count up your thoughts. Every day, maybe millions that you're thinking, you know. So thinking day and night. Even you sleep, you think, because you dream, you know. Dreaming is thinking. Thoughts, you know. So it's a day and night thinking, you know. Because you see heart is beating every second, every moment. That means mind is keeping busy. So look at these things first. First, this is very important to study Buddha's teaching, especially Vajrayana, Mahayana, Bodhicitta, you know, and emptiness. These all are now say it's the business of the mind. The matter has no compassion, you see. No intelligence. See. So that from this point of view, the mind is such, we should understand that. So because of that, the mind is so profound, so vast. So it requires a lot of training. If you read one sentence, Buddhist, it has so many layers of understanding. No? It's not just one. It's not just like a piece of rock. No? When you look at the rock, what you know about it, there's nothing more to know. But on the Buddha's teachings, like the Gongchik root texts are so profound. There are many people I know now. There are teachings about the Gongchik, say this. I really appreciate that, rejoice that. Go ahead. If you are making mistake, doesn't matter. Go ahead. The complete perfection teachings can give only by Buddha and all those great teachers. Like we're just touching the surface of Gongchik. There's some scholars that disagree. Oh, what Gongchik said is, I don't agree, because they don't know. It's not that Gongchik is wrong, but Gongchik is, is so profound that great teachers, even that great teacher cannot penetrate the meaning of the Gongchik. See. So the profundity of this meaning of the Gongchik teachings is unfathomable for our intellectual mind. It can only be captured by the meditative state of the mind. So these first please, as I mentioned, everybody desire for peace and happiness. And nobody desires suffering. Even a ruthless person. Very destructive person. He destroys others' life with ruthless mind, but himself wants peace and happiness. Why? It's mysterious, So that's why Dharma teaching has become so profound. Buddha taught the teachings, now, how long ago? Over 2,560 years, 65 years ago, Buddha taught. You just imagine between then and now, how much belief system is changed, how much different cultures are changed, lifestyles are changed, but have not changed desire for peace and happiness, have not changed desire to free from suffering. Will never change in the future as well. The fire is hot at the time of Buddha, still hot. The ice was cold at the time of Buddha or before, still the ice is cold. The air is light at that time, now. Like this, the four elements, the nature of the four elements have never changed. So desire for peace and happiness will never change, no matter what happens. So look at these, reflect. So historically, Buddha, that time when Buddha was born, we don't call him a Buddha. He was called a prince in a kingdom. Siddhartha, his name. We just treat as like a regular person. Sometimes we say Buddha was born from the heaven, like these things. But he was born as a prince in the northern India. But his father was a very powerful man, a very good ruler. So he has only one son, that Prince Siddhartha. So he want to give him all the best opportunity, send him to school. He got the best education, bringing all the great teachers, ask them to teach him all the knowledge. And he got all the education. That time all the different religions, bringing all the different teachers, ask him to, the spiritual masters, ask them to teach him. And he taught, he got all those. And he grown up in such a luxurious life. But at some time, he was very conscious. He was not just indulge his life in the palace, but he was going out, looking to the people, young children in his age. He was very conscious. One time his cousin Devadatta, they have the bow, arrow. One day a duck was flying, a bird flying. Devadatta shoot the bird, and the bird fell down on the ground. And then Siddhartha just ran into the bird, took up the arrow and healed. So he was very conscious. This should not be done this way. And then Devadatta ran after Siddhartha. Leave the bird there, because I brought down, it's mine. And Siddhartha said, no, it's not yours, it's mine. And Devadatta said, why? Because I saved the life. You wanted to kill the bird, so it's not yours, it's mine. So he was conscious that who desire for peace, happiness, who desire the life, like that. Sometimes he's go to the farmer, the farmland, and how farmers are working hard in the hot weather, in the summer, where the grows rice. Poor people, how they're living their life. They're always conscious. And he sees their suffering life. Then he also growing, Sometimes he sit under the tree, reflecting, meditating of the suffering of the people there. Then, because he was born as a prince, sometimes he's reflecting, now soon I'll be taking place of my father. That means I have to look after the people in the country, and they need peace and happiness. How much I can provide peace and happiness, So like these things, you see. So then he reflects on the mind as well. The mind is very complicated, very complex. Today you are happy, next day you are not happy for no reason. Today you are so happy, you enjoy your life, next day you want to suicidal. Why? What's that is the mind is so complex. How to do these things? So because of this, he contemplates more and more, understands more about the people suffering, how much he can take care, Then, as you see, his life story. He saw the old man, sick man, dead person, So I think it's just to abbreviate it, it's just said that, but he sees this just before as well. The people in the farmer, when he walks around in the farm, people, there's an old man walking, so with a bent shoulder, or this, cannot see clearly. So so how I can help to these people as a king of the country. Those people are so sick, how I can help those people. And those who are dying, the families are crying, how I can help those people. So like this, you see, he was very conscious of everything. So when he was 29, he left the kingdom, as you know all. That's the prime time to enjoy the life in the kingdom. But he was not attached to himself. He was prepared to help the people, everybody in the world. So because of that, I need more training, more understanding to help other people. What I have now is not enough. So because of the all reason, he left the kingdom. He left the kingdom and say such a ascetic life, no food, no shelter, no clothes even, Because he first he himself wanted to have the experience from the luxurious life, from the luxurious, the kingly life, to the most difficult life, the artistic life, For 6 years, train, meditate. He meditated. His meditation was so powerful. No inner outer conditions can disturb his mind. No. Then he achieved such a state, it's called spacious meditative state. Everything is so precise, clear. He thought maybe he's enlightened. But still then, he got the message, this is not the enlightenment. So then from there, he proceeded to the Bodhgaya, under the Bodhi tree. Then there he meditated. As you know, when you see the pictures, read life story, many demons, obstacles manifested. It's the inner, all the leftover, scar, propensity, habitual tendencies of the mind manifested from outside. And then he successfully subjugated. We just think this all just coming outside, but actually it's inner, the leftover propensity, the negative habitual tendencies. This we should know that all our obstacles, evil spirit, there's nothing but is the manifestation of our mental negativities. That need to be purified, because the mental obscurations are the worst demon than from outside. the ignorance, the confusions, the attachment, the aversion, so forth. All these are the most dangerous demons. They will destroy our life, the life of the peace, happiness. The outer demons are temporary. Occasionally will come, they go away. But inner demon stays with us for 24 hours. Until we subdue them, then they will continue. They will never become a friend of us. So that's why I say at the dusk, he subdued all the demons. Then at the midnight, he total meditative state. In the dawn morning, then he enlightened, achieved the Buddhahood. Then it became so precise, clear. Everything, all the causalities. It's not just emptiness. Sometimes we say emptiness is the ultimate. Emptiness is important. But within the emptiness, the play of the causality, more difficult, more sophisticated, requires more discriminating wisdom, more important. In other words, the inseparable of the nature of the causality and emptiness. So he totally captured that state of the mind. It's not a belief system. It's not somebody. It's not just a Buddhist belief. It's the reality nature. In other words, this whole universe, phenomena, everything what exists, whole in the universe, everything becomes so precise. No? Nothing is hidden. Everything is like seeing in the palm of your hand. This is the most important. So then, Skull Buddha said, now I captured the undefiled ambrosia. You know undefiled ambrosia? Which is so profound. In Tibetan called Sabshin Tuete Yosen Dumache, if you know that. So profound. Total peace. Free from all elaboration. It's not just empty. It's luminosity. And it's uncompounded. It's not a Buddhism. It's not something Buddha created, but it's something what you call the universal reality, nature of whole phenomena. In other words, it's the nature of everybody's mind. Your mind, my mind, everybody, even the small insect's mind. It's the nature of all that. You see, it's just a matter of you realize or not realize. So that's what is important. See, that's our objective, the final objective goal to achieve. See, anybody in the world who captures that, and that's what's called total enlightenment. That's what's called enlightenment. Okay, it's not some ceremony, some rituals, all these things. These are good for our Now for start. Then if you really go to this, you have to go beyond that. So you read the Milarepa's life story, how much he ritualized. So then from there, then Buddha taught, to capture that goal, the Buddha taught from the beginning. That is the Gongchik, it's about that. Gongchik is not that simple. It's comprehensive. Gongchik is total meaning of the Buddha's teaching. It's not just one section. Like if you study Abhidhamma Kosha, it has its own subject. Abhidhamma Kosha, this is Abhidhamma Kosha. And if you study Madhyamika Avatara, there's one. Root Madhyamika. So there's the individual subjects there. And Vinaya has own subject, Vinaya, But the Gongchik is everything. It's a total. So I'm sorry, you see there's some translations there, as you can see, sometimes there's a single intent. When you say Gongchik, literally, maybe it's okay, single intent. But in English point, I don't know, maybe my English is so limited. Single intent is very narrow mind, intent, your intention, single intent. Single is one, So single intent, no space left, just very narrow, It's a totally opposite from that. Gongchik is the total comprehended reality nature. The Buddhas of the past, Buddhas of the future, Buddhas of the present, everything in one nature. That's the Gongchik, we have to understand that. But anyhow, the Gongchik is that, but first I'm going to say this now. So if you tell people, we all so much, we like, say, can you give us a Mahamudra teaching? Can you give us the, Dzogchen teaching? Can we say, no? So then you get this, it's empty. It's, it's play of the mind. There's no virtue. There's no non-virtue. There's nothing to give up. There's nothing to accept, So then that's it. Oh, yes. Are you enlightened? I don't know. See. First Buddha said, I realized this. I captured this. That's the estimation. The ultimate Buddhahood is that there's no form. Because it's profound. Profundity. There's no form being a profundity. Profundity, the profundity itself, you said, form, mental form, not physical form, Total peace is not a form. See? It's the mind, total peace. Free from all elaboration. This all elaborated. These things are elaboration. Means you expand, So in total, when you captured everything, there's nothing to expand. That's called free from elaboration. It's not making it limited. So now you cannot elaborate from this. It's not that. This free from elaboration means completely maximized. There's no further to go. It's free from elaboration, So the mind is so limited. Limitless mind is maximized. And that itself is called free from liberation. And within that, everything functions. Like the space, the space has no limit. Within the space, you see all the planets, galaxies, stars, everything functions within the space, isn't it? If there's no space, none of this can function. Because the mind is so limitless, everything functions within this mind. It functions in the confused mind, we should say. In the confused mind, it functions hell realm. Holy Ghost, animals, human beings, demigod, God, as long as there's a cause. So everything's causality, you see. Look at you as a Buddhist, look at your mind. Sometimes you feel so peaceful. Oh, wonderful life. I'm so fortunate. What is this? No, beautiful sky. You enjoy so much. And sometimes you feel so confused, upset, suffering. No. So what's going on with me? How I can survive? There's a lot of fear, all these things. In your own mind, you should see the expression of your mind. That shows the complexity of your mind. See, the limitlessness of your mind. Even with unenlightened mind, how much experience we have in everyday life. But we don't realize that. So that's called the Buddha sees this all precisely without any hidden. That's called luminosity. No limitation. And that your mind, if you ask who created your mind, nobody has. It's called uncompounded. Substitute is dumache. No? Dumache means uncompounded, not produced. But that's what it means, the reality nature of your mind. Now to achieve that, then you see this teaching, you can see, you have heard of, you have to renounce the samsara, because if we attach to the samsara, we miss to capture that message. You see, that's what's called renunciation about. It's not saying this is all bad, 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 bad. But if you are attached to these things, then you are attached to, and then you miss the others, the project to achieve, We have to make understand that now, you see. Real Tundama established in the country. We need really some understanding Dharma study, practice. Because just some rituals, some chantings, we expect to remain the Dharma in the world cannot survive. That's why, like historically, like you just look at the Marpa. He went from Tibet, such a high altitude, went to the India, so hot. That time there's no air condition, there's no train, there's no aeroplane, there's no cars. He walked day and night, bringing his food on his back, sacrifice all his life's joy, for the Dharma to establish in the world, especially in Tibet. He went not just only one, 2, 3, spent time. He went back to Tibet, collect all the resources, and bringing to India, making offering to the teachers for his own expenses, all this. Then he brought all these precious Dharma teachings, And then he brought, after bringing those teachings in Tibet, you see, then he talked to many disciples, especially, Milarepa. So Milarepa not just studied some rituals, some deity yogas, not just that, taught all those Buddha's teaching. And then he dedicated his entire life in the retreat and achieved the enlightenment, Buddhahood. That's how Buddhism is established in Tibet. So we have to think about these things. I'm sharing this message so that we can, how we can do, how we can handle, That's why I say especially last for 20 years, I should say, I was in Tibet, especially Eastern Tibet, sharing these Gongchik teachings to the monasteries, to continue the Buddha's teaching, introducing these, and also in Nepal, in India, everywhere. I was trying my best, to not just some nice thing in the society, even though I'm very limited, if you ask me if I know Konchog, I should say I don't know. It was so profound, so precious. But I tried to make the message. I used to tell to the monks, I'm teaching here because I'm teaching here Gongchik. It's not that because I know Gongchik. So when I teach, if you find some mistakes that I make, you just bring up, I said. Bring up the mistake I made, and I will appreciate. I will rejoice that. We cannot play my ego here. We have to put my ego aside and bring the pure Dharma in the world. I cannot pretend something, Pretending doesn't help. So that's how, first of all, how it's important. Then, because of Milarepa enlightenment, he produced Kampupa. Such a great teacher, a monk, full-ordained monk, who studied complete Buddha's teaching, Vinaya, Sutra, Vajrayana. He was the responsible to establish complete Buddha's teaching in Tibet. It's not just some partial thing, Milarepa taught accordingly to Kampupa, and Kampupa received all the teachings. So that's why Milarepa has highly praised Kampupa, a Vajrayana practitioner monk, the holder of the Vajra Bhikkhu. So we not just some small activities. We need to establish Dharma teachings so precisely. It's very important to introduce teachings to then establish to benefit. It will help everybody in the world because it's working the mind. We also indulge the outer material, and nobody talked to us the mental qualities. Now you know the universities in the world, but in the United States, how many universities there are? Is there any university who teach you to purify our mental afflictions? No. They only teach you how to develop your mental afflictions, attachment, all this pride, jealousy, all these things will teach you, increase you, and people become more and more about that. They increase. There are no more sufferings there. The scientists are wonderful. I appreciate, I rejoice their approach, the scientific, wonderful. But how far they found is still a long way to go. So, especially the mind. The outer material, yes, they are so advanced through all the machines, help of the machine, going to the space, like say moon and Mars and all the other things, and all the dust particles, just wonderful they found it. But still the inner mind. So we need to emphasize more about the mind. Not everybody loves to hear practice of loving kindness, compassion, So, this teacher is this guru is the embodiment of compassion, loving kindness, and Bodhicitta, we say that. But still, we don't know the profundity of the mind. So we have to just to get a glimpse of the profundity of the mind, how the mind is profound. For that, nowadays, you see, the three things are very important. This three trainings. Three shiksha in Sanskrit is called. Three shiksha, three training. The training of the morality. The training of the morality, because in Sanskrit, shila. Training of morality, training of the shila, and the training of the samadhi, and the training of the prajna. See, these three. This only not only just in our Buddhist teachings, we say this Buddhists, they teach the three training. It involves in our daily life. When you cook, you need these three training. First, you need discipline, isn't it? When you cook, okay, you need in your kitchen, you need discipline. There's morality. Then you have to concentrate when you chop the vegetables. If you don't concentrate, you may chop your fingers, Then once the cooking, then you have to know the salt, how it is cooked, not cooked. You have to have the wisdom. So you need this training, when you're in the kitchen. Or when you drive, you need this training. When you drive, you have to drive in a good way, not the wrong direction. You need a discipline. Then you have to. When you drive, you need concentration. Very good concentration. Otherwise, then it can hit other cars. Then you need a wisdom where now how far, where you arrived or not. So now this is destinations. You need these three training. Same way in the teaching. When they physically, mentally, verbally have a good discipline, then there's a great possibility to have the samadhi. When there's very good samadhi, there's a wisdom awareness. Your mind is calm, peaceful mind. Then you can see precisely. See? It's not something Buddhism, Buddha made up, It's not Buddha's made up. Buddha see the causality, the cause of the result you want to achieve, what kind of cause is required. Without the cause, you can't get the result. like a farmer. When the farmer, the farm, they need these three training. First, how to fertilize the ground, all this. Then you have to have wisdom when to plant the seed. Then you need all this climate support, isn't it? The heat, water, all this fertilizer, all this you need. When these three trainings are there, the farmer can produce such wonderful products, the foods. So like that, Buddha, as that, taught these three training for the practitioners. Avoid all the cause of suffering, means negative mind. Protect all the cause of peace and happiness. You maintain. This is all here in the Gongchik said. What to be avoided should be avoided forever. And what should be kept should be kept for the peace and happiness forever. So these are the, what you call, first, Shila. Tsutim. Tsul in Tibetan, very good word, Tsul Tim. Tsul Shinto Sungwe Tim. You keep the discipline according to the reality. It's not something believed or created, but protect all the cause for peace and happiness. And avoid all the cause of suffering. So that when you handle that properly, that's what we call discipline. So for beginner, for lay people, the 5 precepts, all this. The 5 precepts is universal. I will talk this more later, but first you just get that. So these 5 precepts are the foundation of all the disciplines. The monks and nuns, no matter how much you take, those 5 are the foundation. All that are just branches from that. Then when you have those proper guidance, how to maintain your body, speech, mind, then there's a very wonderful chance for samadhi. Samadhi means keeping your mind calm, peaceful. See, where your mind is. There's a saying, your cushion should be placed in the shrine, and then your body should be on your cushion, and then your mind should be where your body is. Because our body is here, mind is going everywhere, you see, sometimes going to the kitchen, sometimes going to the market, sometimes going there and there, So mind doesn't stay where your body is. So in the teaching said, your body should be where the cushion is, and your mind should be where your body is. And then where the mind is restful. So, Mandala is called in Tibetan, Same mind rested. When the mind is rested well, then there's a great chance to kindle your critical insight. And you see this, things precisely. That's the first how to bring these things, and then how to capture this meaning, of this your own nature of the mind. sometimes when you see, I'm sure you have heard of, when you find some great teacher, you should get the instruction of your mind, introduction of your mind. Have you heard of this? No? You may hear some, but then gone and disappear, because you don't have this training. See, you may hear 100 times, but may not stay there. So this is the method first Buddha taught, just to get idea first, So it is not a Buddhism, first, please understand. This Buddha's teaching is how everything functions as it is. As I mentioned, the poison is a poison. It's nobody's belief. It's nobody's culture. Anybody who takes the poison will kill you, It's poison. Medicine is a medicine, always medicine. So Buddha taught that this is a cause of suffering, from the Four Noble Truth. You are experiencing suffering because suffering is come from this cause. It's not just a matter of I like or I don't like. I like this. We may say, what you like may not be the real cause for your happiness. So Buddha taught according to the reality nature, how everything functions. That you're now here, we'll discuss this tomorrow, more. But first today, I want to introduce these things important, because we have tomorrow, then Saturday, Sunday, So then you'll get some basic understanding of Gongchik, you see. Instead of going through text, this was just said, this, reading this, you may get some glimpse, but you don't know what really Gongchik is about. The Gongchik is mentioned the complete, the nature of the teaching of Buddha's teaching, from Vinaya, Bodhisattva, Vajrayana, everything. Just example, you see ocean, you see the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, all the taste of the ocean is what? Salt water, All the ocean, doesn't matter what color you name it, but all the ocean is salty, isn't it? Isn't it? Salty. So water coming from all the directions, from the Mississippi rivers, Ganges River, Sindus River, and you name it, Yellow River, all the water all goes to the ocean. They mix with the ocean. Then they just become with the ocean. No separation. See? Buddha taught so many teachings, you see. All the different types of teaching Buddha taught. There's called 84,000 categories of teaching. You have heard of that. But it's all goes to the same nature. How to avoid the cause of suffering and how to accept, practice the cause for peace and happiness. Once we know this, once you are convinced about this reality nature, and your Dhamma practice, you will do very sincerely. It's not just a belief. Otherwise, we know Buddhists believe what? Buddhists believe karma. Buddhists believe rebirth. Like some other don't believe rebirth, karma. So it's a belief, your karma and the rebirth is something like your belief system. Buddhists believe emptiness. So when Buddha taught rebirth, is a Buddhist belief or not? Whether we know or don't know, rebirth is reality, nature. Today you go to sleep, tomorrow you get up. It's not a belief, isn't it? You come from yesterday, go tomorrow. It is belief or what? The suffering is belief or what? If suffering is belief, don't believe it. See? When you believe in suffering, don't believe about it. But that's not the case. The cause of this suffering. You have to understand that, you see. When you are convinced about these things through your investigation, through your understanding, then you say, oh, actually I was destroying my peace and happiness by myself through the ignorance. So as I mentioned, in the Constitution of the United States, ignorance has no excuse. So Jidosung says in the Gongchik here, the ignorance is the most dangerous. Because ignorance has no excuse. I make mistake. I have to follow. I'm the responsible. Whatever I did. It's an individual's responsibility. So Konchog will help us to understand the reality nature of the whole universe. And the causality is the constitution of the framework of whole phenomena. Everything is constituted within the causality. The whole outer universe, outer world, is directly or indirectly is our own creation.
Yeah.
So look at this, contemplate on this, meditate. Then we can really be a sincere Dhamma practitioner. We need some kind of pure vision. We say, oh, those some teachers are there, they're so wonderful, they're pure. So if you don't have the pure vision, then you make negative karma, Of course, it's very important to have the pure vision. But in order to have a pure vision, they have to have also their kind of qualities, you see. Just for example, there's a piece of poison and said, I have a real pure vision. This is not poison, this is medicine, to meditate on there. Say, this is a real, I believe, I have a pure vision. This is medicine, not a poison, We just meditate for days and days, and then they see if we turn into medicine or not. It cannot, because it doesn't have the basic classical quality of the medicine. You cannot change that poison into medicine. So this is a wisdom is so important to see things how The solid rock cannot become a space in our daily life, you know. Solid rock is solid rock, you know. So first just get some of those understanding. Then, as mentioned, most important is the training of the mind. One need to train the mind, means reduce our mental affliction. That's the most important. First, you know, just look at, say, this my body. Now here, this body is, what do you call, has 5 aggregate, is it there? 5 aggregate. It's called 5 skandha, you know. Before Dhamma study, practice, this is me, you know. One solid I, you know, this is me. Still, even we practice Dhamma, still we have that. There's one solid I, me, sense, like there's an I, self, I have. And then one like say permanent, you say, it's a picture. So this is when I was 10 years old. This is me, you know. Now I'm 50 years old. This is me. Now I'm 70 years old. This is me. So one continuation of solid, permanent, you see. I, this is me, you know, I. But then you study, practice. This body is not just one solid. There's a form, there's a feeling, there's a perception, there's a formation, there's a consciousness. All this combination of the 5 together is called the skandha, the aggregates. So it's not just solid. It's just combination of all these things. If one is missing, cannot function, this body. Then I say, oh. Then I see the very fragile nature. You know? Before I see, especially when you're young, you feel just, I can do everything. I'm just young. You know? Look like the solid, like the boxing player, you know. They built all this muscle, you know, like a rock, you know. But when you study all this, analyze, then you say, oh, this is source of all the others. I mean, this all you see, this is impermanent. Everything's changing. You know, the child, when you're a child, is not you now. Because look at the child and you now, totally different. Now you are old, gray hair, wrinkled face, you know, grimace. You know grimace? No, grimace. What's that? And the flustered mind, you know. So it's just all those all changing, you know. Oh. Then you see, you change your perception in the mind, where you're thinking, you change there. No. Right now, in the samsara, we want to enjoy happiness. Oh, yes, I want to enjoy this. We feel this enjoyment, that happiness, real happiness. But then when you study furthermore, study that enjoyment, that happiness is a suffering of change. It's no longer happiness. It's changed to suffering. Then you say you don't indulge so much. Oh, this is impermanent. See. So how mind is changing, you see, through this. It's not changing because you change, you taught belief system, but you change through the wisdom, you see. Then you go further, you see this body, four elements or five elements. It's all, so you go more subtle, dust particle. Your feeling passes past. Future is not come yet. This mind is changing. There's nothing lasts long. Then you see as an illusory nature. You see, we're not making illusion, but you see as an illusory nature. We're not changing your belief system, but changing your perception, how you perceive, from the wrong perception to the right perception. And through that you see, then you analyze further, so like quantum physics theory. Through the quantum physics theory, you look at it, then all the dust particle you investigate at the end, even the dust particles not exist. See, all just so much like a rainbow, mirage. You change that. Through this, you see, what it does is your ignorance is now reducing. We're reducing the ignorance. You know, when you reduce the ignorance, attachment is released. Aversion is released. First, you see this real enemy who destroys all your peace and happiness. Then when you realize this is not real enemy, it's illusory nature. This person is so stupid. I should practice compassion from this point of view. And then we release our anger, our resentment. That's how you purify mental afflictions. Through the wisdom, see. That's how you free from the samsara, suffering. You know? And this is the reality nature. You know? It looks simple. And it's reality nature, yes, it is simple. But our mental affliction, the propensity, the habitual tendency, we are so ingrained in the habitual tendencies. Keep repeating. No? You don't want, but you have sometimes makes no choice. And you make the same mistake and you suffer from that mistake. No? And then you say, oh, I'm so stupid. I know it is not right, but what should I do, you know? That's what comes to mindfulness, you see. So Buddha taught all the skill, mindfulness, awareness, vigilance, see, to reduce these things. It's not easy, but we should do it. Because there's no other choice to free from suffering, okay? This we have to understand. If I don't want suffering, I have no other choice. I have to follow this way. And it will not help us say, I couldn't do it, or if I negotiate, you know, or please, if I do this much, it's okay, you know. If I practice, there's 100,000 is too much. If I do 10,000 is okay, you know. We try to negotiate, you know. You can negotiate, but look at your mind, whether the negotiation helps or not. If the negotiation helps, you know, then you go for it. But I doubt, you know. 100,000, 200,000, 10,000 maybe need to do to purify. No? I have to do it. That's our own to help myself. Okay. To help myself, what should I do? How should I follow? So these are some I thought say tonight, to get some basic idea. Then we can, from there, we can start. So first, as mentioned, Gongchik is the complete, the comprehensive teachings of the Buddha, right from the beginning to the Buddhahood. It's the complete path. All the Buddhas of the past went through this path. All the Buddhas of the future will go through this path. And then you see the Gongchik, okay, that's what Gongchik is about. No? It's not just some, I'm sure you have received teachings from other teachers. This Vajra statement says this, he explains this, no? But each Vajra statement has the complete meaning of all the Gongchik teaching. It's explained from different angles, but it can bring into one complete nature. As I mentioned, all different waters, rivers, streams come from all the directions. They all come into the ocean. So all the Buddha's teachings that brought into the Dharmakaya. The Dharmakaya is the complete nature of the Buddha's teaching. So then when you study Gongchik, okay, understand. Now, so non-virtue is non-virtue. It cannot become, like in Vinaya, this non-virtue. In Vajrayana, it can be virtue. Cannot. Ignorance is ignorance. In Vinaya, in Mayana, in Vajrayana. Okay. Ignorance cannot be wisdom in the Vajrayana when is non-virtue in the Vinaya. Okay. Same as our attachment. Same as also this aversion. All the mental afflictions are mental afflictions. All those Buddha taught how to purify, especially when you come to the Mayana, Vajrayana, more precise. It's kind of more aggressive because you have to go through the details, to the root, get rid of all, because it's a way to enlightenment. Buddha. So 3 portions is the portion that you have to avoid to all the way to the Buddha. And all the medicines, the absence of the 3 portions, what do you call? The absence of 3 portions, what you can say? Huh? Antidote. No. The absence, I'm saying. To have any wisdom in the absence of 3 portions in the inner world. Purity is the 3 absence. No? So the 3 absence of the portion, 3 portion. She said the absence of the 3 portion is enlightenment. Okay. That's enlightenment. You should understand. How I know if I'm enlightened? Look at if you have none of those portions, you're enlightened. It makes sense? You have any questions? Or from here to? We have about 15, 20 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rinpoche.
The question here.
Rinpoche asked if anyone have questions, you
Oh,
can raise
yeah.
your hands and we can call on you. Perhaps everyone's still contemplating.
Yes, contemplating, yes.
Oh, it is?
Yes, go ahead.
I studied with the niece.
Niece.
Thich Nhat Hanh.
Thich Nhat Hanh. Oh, yes, yes.
And, oh, thank you. Thank you for taking my question.
Yes.
So I studied for 5 years with the niece of Thich Nhat Hanh. And I'm wondering, when you spoke tonight about how Buddhism is not ceremonial things,
Buddhism is ceremonial?
Is not ceremonial things.
Oh, no, so you can do ceremony. There's a space for everything.
Including Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings?
Of course. Yes, yes. Right, as mentioned, from Four Noble Truth. Four Noble Truth.
Yes.
I'm sure Thich Nhat Hanh taught Four Noble Truth.
Yes.
Yes, you know. Four Noble Truth is the, we should say, the framework of the Buddha's teaching. All teachings are within the Four Noble Truth. Theravada system is within the Four Noble Truth. Mahayana within the Four Noble Truth. Vajrayana also within the Four Noble Truth.
So the Four Noble Truths are the basis for the Gongchik.
Yeah, Konchog is, yes, Four Noble is the basis of the Gongchik is the basis of, as mentioned, Gongchik is comprehensive, you know. All the Buddha's teachings are within in the Gongchik. So, of course, the Four Noble Truth. Actually, as mentioned, all Buddha's teachings, no, first, it's just to get understanding. Okay? You should understand the Four Noble Truth, you know. Understanding the suffering, and to avoid the cause of suffering, and then to achieve the cessation of suffering, and the path to achieve the cessation means nirvana, you know. So, see, in Vinaya, that is about, you know, we meditate. Why you meditate? Avoiding, first you understand why you want to meditate. You renounce this suffering. You don't like the samsara. You see the suffering. So that's why you want to meditate. Because you understood the suffering. So to free from the suffering, you are meditating. That means you are following, you are trying to avoiding the cause of suffering. You see. So that way, your target is to achieve the nirvana. To achieve the nirvana, you meditate the path. See. So that is in Mahayana, Thich Nhat Hanh teachings saying that, you know. He teach you, you should aware, meditate, you know, while you are eating, while you're cooking, you know. His teachings are so simple, but very profound. I really admire his teachings. So relevant, makes it so simple, but very profound. You know? Why you do this? Mindfulness. His main teaching is mindfulness. So why you want to be mindful? Not indulge all the negative thoughts. You know? Purify your negative thoughts. So then you see, through this way, you purify all the cause of suffering, so that you don't suffer. You don't suffer. We are suffering because we created the cause of suffering. No, as I mentioned, nobody likes the suffering. But since we created the cause of suffering, no choice. Now nowadays you see people are talking so much about the environment, the climate change, disasters, all this. We created the cause. There's no one to blame outside somewhere. In the world, who habitats, who are in this world, people are with out of greed, no? To pass through the start with the ignorance. Through the ignorance, we build the greed. Out of greed, then we create all those causes of suffering, and we suffer. So there's no other to blame about. We have to take responsibility. We have to start individually, like me, you know, with this, we have to start from there. Because we are the one of them, one of from all these people, you know. So there, then when we do this well, you know, develop loving kindness, compassion, meditate on these things, and avoid all the mental delusions as much as we can, and be mindful. And then, you know, when these negative thoughts, delusions cease to exist, then we are close to nirvana. You know? So all the Mahayana teachings are designed for that. Vajrayana, Buddha taught Vajrayana also designed for that. So you want to practice deity yoga. Deity means enlightened being. Means you have to reduce all these negative delusions. And you want to achieve enlightenment. Make sense?
Yes, I think you're saying that there are many different teachers.
Mm.
There are many different forms of the teachings.
Yes, yes.
But they're all the same.
Yeah, as mentioned, the mind is so complex. So complex. So Buddha taught all those teachings to fit every individual, very inclusive. So Buddha didn't say, you cannot come to my teaching. Buddha's compassion is such like spacious nature of the compassion, includes everyone. So Buddha has to have a skill how to communicate to those individuals. That's why the Buddha's teaching, even Vajrayana, there are so many different levels of teaching. Mahayana as well, so many levels. No? And Theravada, so many levels. But all what teach is avoid all the cause of suffering. No one will say, you did this negative thing, you will achieve enlightenment. That's why we respect all the Buddha's teaching. Okay.
Thank you. I'm very grateful for your coming here.
Yeah, you know, that's what Gongchik is, you know. Not easy to understand. Yes, who?
Lucy?
Yeah, so Rinpoche, I think when you talked about the samadhi training, you mentioned when you talked about the samadhi training, right? You said the mind is rest.
Samadhi.
Right.
Yeah,
when you talk about the three trainings, right?
Yes.
The second training is the samadhi
Actually, it's all mind
training.
training.
And you said we rest our mind. And I think I heard you said also, and then our mind becomes restful, and then we kill the kleshas, right? I think you mentioned that. You used the Sanskrit word. Klesha. Right?
Klesha, yeah.
Right, you said that.
What I said was Shila. First Shila.
Yeah.
Then Samadhi.
Uh-huh.
Then Prajna.
Yeah, Prajna.
Yes. These three will help you to reduce our klesha.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because I also listened to the Chinese translation,
Yes.
and I think, we missed that in the Chinese translation. I just
Okay.
want to point that out.
Okay.
And then another thing is, I think I didn't quite catch when you talk about the ignorance is no excuse, right? We are always responsible for our actions.
Yes.
And then you mentioned like all things direct or indirect. And I think I missed that word, like all our creation. Do you mean everything, all our mind's creation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my question.
Your whole life is created by your mind.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Rinpoche. Yeah. Very grateful for your teaching. Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions from the Zoom room? Still contemplating. Still contemplating.
That's good. Very good. Yes. Now, first, I want relax your body and mind. See, just relax the mind and the body. Lose all your tension, physical and mental tension. That's very good, you know. Start from there. And then breathe in all the blessings of Buddha into us. And that blessing permeates your body and mind. And then exhale. Once more, you breathe in, inhale all the wisdom and compassion of Buddha into you. And again, relax and heal your mind and the body. All the different types of negativities that you have in your mind, all are purified and healed. And exhale all these our negative emotions. We no need them to keep with us. Don't keep those negative emotions. They are not healthy, you know. We just release all this. Release all our negativities. Release and make our mind fresh, relax. And then once more, please inhale all the Buddha's, this Bodhicitta of the Buddha, or wisdom, compassion, as mentioned. Once more, you breathe in and purify the subtle obscurations of the body and the mind. And just meditate, your mind is like the space. You see, then generally, you know, our mind is trapped in the cocoon. Cocoon with our inner ego. And confined, you know what does mean confined? Do you know confined?
Yes.
What's that? Trapped. Oh, trapped, yeah. Our mind is trapped in the confined, very small space. So now you meditate, your mind is unconfined. Like this, like a vast space. So all this, our negativities of the mind are just a manifestation of the emptiness. See, they manifest from emptiness and they dissolve into emptiness. But we don't realize that we are trapped in the confine. And then we fluster. You know, fluster? You see, we fluster our mind. And then we suffer helplessly. So let that purify and meditate, relax in the unflustered mind. You see, noble mind. You have one mind, but you see, depending to the wisdom and the ignorance, as I mentioned, the wisdom mind helps to get rid of all this flustered mind. And then the wisdom mind helps us to achieve the unflustered mind. So that's why I mentioned the mind is so profound, you see. Your mind can be the cause of all the suffering throw you in the hell realm. Or your mind can help you to free from all the suffering and achieve the enlightenment. It's your mind. It's my mind. You know? And we have the same nature of the mind. But the Buddha's wisdom teaches us how to see this. And that's the Gongchik, you see. Such a profound, vast. Okay. So thank you everybody. So we stop here. And if there's some dedication prayers to be said, please do that.
Amanda, please share the screen for dedication.
I don't know if he's here or not. Yes, the last dedication prayer.
156.
No, we don't need to say so much. Just one. I don't know if it's here or not. It's not here. Not here. Not here. Show me. Oh yeah, this is good. Yes, this is. Yes. No need to say others. Yeah, just say this. This is such a profound dedication prayer. Everything's here.
Then Rinpoche, you're gonna.
I start?
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
So first again, you say, please relax your body and mind and appreciate the teachings that we received. If you got some benefit, and And so that's how Buddha's teaching is so precious. I'm so fortunate to have this opportunity, and I look forward next for a few days, and then for the rest of my life. Then for tonight, we say this dedication prayer here. Everybody has this? Yes. Oh. Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind, root and lineage lamas, divine assemblies, yidams, assemblies of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, yogins, yoginis, and dakinis dwelling in the 10th direction. Please hear my prayer. May the virtues collected the 3 times by myself, all sentient beings in samsara and nirvana, and the innate root of virtue, not result in the 8 worldly concerns, the 4 causes of samsara, or rebirth as Sharavaka or Patika Buddha. May all mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me and mine, obstacles, harm, misleading maras, and the hordes of demons experience happiness, separated from suffering, and swiftly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may I benefit all beings through my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of desire, hatred, ignorance, arrogance, and jealousy not arise in my mind. May the attachment to fame, reputation, wealth, honor, and concern for this life not arise for even a moment. May my mind still be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, and through that may I become a spiritual master with the good qualities equal to the infinite of space. May I gain supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. May the torment of suffering not arise even at the time of my death. May I not die with the negative thoughts. May I not die confused with wrong view. May I not experience an untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of the mind as such, and the pervading clarity of Dharmata. May I, in any case, gain the supreme attainment of the Mahamudra at the time of death or in the Bhardo.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Thank you, Rinpoche. And
fuiste al gimnasio. Sí, ándale, con cuidado, no llegues tan tarde.
everyone wants
Thank you, Rinpoche. Long life, Rinpoche.
Rinpoche, 长久住世，弘法利生。Rinpoche, 长久之世，长生法人，沙西德勒。
Thank you, translator. Thank you, organizer.
Thank you, Rinpoche. I wish to be with you for all my life till enlightenment. It's me, Emma. I want to be with you for forever.